Yo guys, how you doing? We're back again with this captain, and he's brought a friend with him today. We're going to hopefully get this guy finished off and start work on the Ogrid Myrmidon from Warcry today. We've got a fair bit to do, so we want to get started pretty quickly. We've got, of course, some freehand to do up here on this tilt shield. I've got a decal to apply, which will probably be done off air, if I'm honest. Just so I can just get through that nice and quickly and get all those varnishes down for it. Got a little bit of belt work to do, the leather and the holster he's got around here on his back. But other than that, it's just some work on the Necron and the base itself with this swamp theme that we're going for. The Necron's going to require some OSL. Do it by hand today. Going to do it by hand. No airbrush OSL, regular one of these paintbrush OSLs, or if we really get stuck, we can opt out and airbrush with this and just like see what we get. In a chat, we've got Melchete, That's Des, Snake Plissken, Demon Badger, Band's Lost Arms, The Crooked Grin, Gumbalina Main Unit, Celtic Craig, and a Johnsonator. How you doing, everyone? Thank you for joining. Des, Saturday was good, dude. Saturday was good. Your absence was noted. Let's say C-, C me. Report to the teacher. But no, dude, I'm glad you had a good day. We had a great stream. The chat tried extremely hard to break me again, and once again, nearly succeeded. I have about 5 pages of screenshots of subs and meeps to give out now for that. But hey, it's all good, and thank you again to everyone for your incredible generosity. I think we got 610% of a tier 5 hype train. The fuck? Okay. Tell you what, quickly, before we go too much further, we will talk about me giving something back to the stream for its incredible generosity. I said about how on New Year's Eve, because it's a special occasion, and it is the giveaway stream, why not go ham with the giveaway stream a little bit and give out some vouchers. I said we do one big voucher and one small voucher. I think instead we just do 2 big vouchers. So on the New Year's Eve stream, we give away 2 £50 gift vouchers. Not a big one and a little one. Just 2 big vouchers. And we'll see how you get on with that. We've also got, of course, the chance to win the mystery box, the Imagifier, or the Red Gobbo. If you are Patreon members or subs, you have a chance at those last 2. If you're a sub, you can only get a chance at those 2 and the mystery box. It's the only way you can try and win the mystery box, in fact. Right, so here's our boy. He's nearly done. Nearly done. All about the mystery box. Mate, the mystery box, is it just a lump of coal? I know it was like, here's what you guys could be doing for Christmas, but you guys know what I'm like. Bah humbug, you know, Scrooge ain't got nothing on me. Could it just be a lump of coal? Rob, what up? Alright. So let's start off with the OSL. Let's do some fun stuff right up at the beginning. Let's get some water on our palette. Get some glazes going on. We got some yellow already down. And what we're going to do now is get an effect that is similar to the red on this guy's chest. Okay, same sort of way we've done this little bit of the gun barrel and so on, but a little bit more detailed. We're also going to do the eyes in that glowing style as well. That's super easy, by the way. So eyes is like literally 3 brush strokes and done. On a normal miniature. On a character, we'll just go a little bit further, get those blames in. There's going to draw 2 names for the entries. This time we're going to do it on purpose. If it's not the call, you better paint a full NMM style. And then you get to choose the colour scheme. You just don't get to choose how. That's all. So I'm going to take some of that red, that Kador red, and just in case this ends up going on a little bit bright, I've got a little black on the palette. I'm going to mix that in. and then we're going to glaze this right out. So we want super, super, super thin, and we're going to put it on a little bit at a time. When you're glazing, two things really matter. The first one is, of course, the paint consistency. The second one, which arguably matters more, is the amount of paint you have on your brush. So look here, we don't have an overloaded tip. You know, it's not distended or anything. Excuse me, I knew that was coming. Hoi. So you can see we're just getting a little bit of a tint to this. I'm going to build that brightness up over the chest area. Don't want it to go down here, it's not going to touch any of that. Now, this is light emanating from a certain point. It's more like a glow than a like a proper full-on burst of light. And so we're not going to get any of it on the robes or anything similar. So just start working that in. Now, I always say to draw your brushstrokes towards the point of most impact. Now, at this stage, we just kind of want all of the chest to have the glow, because everything that's close around it is going to be influenced by it anyway, and we won't go past any of these lines. So just kind of building up that color in general. Oh, you always sneezing twos too, mate. We had a little bit of man flu last week. Fortunately, we just recovered in time for Christmas Eve, and there were like rows of 7 sneezes at a time. Oi, no. That's too much. That's too strong. Lick the tip. There's something wrong with you, dude. The Bengals, yeah, but they're playing a Titan. That's right. Not the Titans. The Texans. And is there still time for us to snatch defeat from the jaws of victory? It was looking like we might be able to. 9 seconds left in quarter 4. We might win. Anyone else remember when the Bengals used to be good? It was a long time ago. It just... God. I love my team, but motherfuckers, will you guys at least play? Right, a little bit of red, just building up. Now let's amp it up. So I'm going to grab some more red. Mix in with that to change our hue a little bit. A bit brighter. Again, totally glaze that out. Even the Jets won by accident, yeah. You almost always sneeze in patterns of 7. That's 2 of you, like, in 7s. That's horrible. That's horrible. I don't know about you folks, but whenever that happens to me, if it happens more than once in a day, so like the man flu days, it's always the bit after that where you've got cramped abs. Your back hurts a little bit. It's just from all the fucking sneezing. Can live totally without that forever. So just putting a little bit of glow of a slightly lighter colour on here. Just help delineate the edge of that centre point. And then because we're glazing, we just sort of keep going a bit. We will also, using this colour, just put a little bit of a glow underneath his eyes. So at this point, just putting this little tiny bit of paint in up here. And you're looking to do the face more than anything else. If it goes into the orbital recess, no issue, not really. This is still quite dark in comparison to everything else we're going to have going on. So a brush towards that area. Put in the majority of the paint on the faceplate of the Necron itself. You can use this for any glowing eye method. Basically paint this bit with glazes, with the most affected part being here, top of the cheek, bottom of the eye. Make sure you leave a nice gap between that and the eye itself so you can establish a bit more shape with a darker line in there. But that's kind of the way you work. Then as we go through, I'll show you the next couple of steps to make that eye really glow. So earlier on today I did that whole best 9 Instagram thing. Don't know if you guys follow me over on Instagram or have seen that post yet, but Nick, you should be extremely happy with that, because I think out of 9 pictures, I'm pretty sure 4 of them were your Dark Angels. So, you know, not bad, eh? Not bad. So getting a bit more of this in the recesses. This is where the glow is going to be coming from after all, so I want to build that up a little bit brighter. Lots on dangles, absolutely, mate. So we're going to go right up to an orange and then very, very, very subtly into a little bit of yellow with this glow. I want this Necron to look like it is definitely still a potential threat to the life of this captain. And he's just powering the sword up, ready to just like and take it out. No chaplain. No chaplain, mate. One of the most surprising liked photos in terms of the amount of likes it got. Normally my photos average like 300 to 400 likes. Yeah, not bad. Not bad at all. But the photo I took of just like, here's all the stuff I'm working on, absolutely just shot up. Nearly, I think it was over 2K. Malchete, I know a few people that do use Halford sprays for priming. I have done. My only reservation with it is it comes out a bit fierce, so you've got to be aware of that. Bounce Lost Arms, peace out, bro. See you soon. Hope to see you on New Year's Eve, that giveaway stream, my friend. So yeah, because it comes out a bit fast, you need to be very aware of that and ensure you don't flood one area of the mini with the primer. Otherwise, it works really well. So. I used to have a Dolphins shirt, and this is when I was a child, I had a Bears jumper as well. I loved the Bears growing up. Their smash mouth football, defense wins, and all that was fucking great. Even like recent years with like Brian Urlacher on the team. I say recent years, that was still a while ago. I feel like I've moved. I keep painting slightly off one side of the camera. So, what time does New Year's stream start at? Same time as normal, bro. Maybe a little earlier, depends on how I'm feeling, but most likely 9 o'clock. I will let you guys know on Instagram. So, @social, go follow. You're a packer. Right, now I'm going to go in with just some straight up Kador red. No mixing in with anything. We will still obviously add a load of water to this. Get it glazy. And we might stop the glazes at this point. You'll always get to a position where you will need to start bringing in some edge highlights and really just get those insides. And at that point you want precision, so a glaze isn't necessarily going to be what you want to go with. Northern Ireland, another 6-week lockdown, so currently locally, and Royal Mail won't ship aerosols, so I'm kind of stuck. You tend to have to get aerosols through courier, which can obviously cost a fair bit. Right, we use this Kador red now, and we're going into all of these recesses. That's where our light is coming from. And then we're just going to fuzz it out around the edges of each of those as well. So going on with a little bit of stippling motion. Make sure we get no big pulls of it, but concentrating on those areas, as you see. Just like the green and gold, I'll bet you do. I'll bet you do. Alright, same on the eyes, but we'll try and keep this absolutely on the cheekbones now. Cannot get that into that orbital, otherwise I have to paint inside that and really darken that down again. So just carefully popping that on there and then manipulating the paint while it's still wet to get it into exactly the position that we want. So now we're getting that eye glow coming through. Alright, let's grab some slightly thicker red now, so not a glaze. This is where we want that precision, we want those edges to start coming in. And we're going to hit all of the bottoms of these. This is where our light is going to start to form up with our edge highlights. So 1, 2, 3, that side. Now we normally do stuff like this with an airbrush, but normally we're doing larger models or like a centerpiece part of an OSL area rather than doing just like a little base decoration essentially. Also I figured we may as well actually just do some brushed OSL so you guys can see that I do actually know how to do it. I can't actually paint without an airbrush. It's just I really like using the airbrush, so I don't. Darker Design, doing well, bro. How about you? Comes to Bob, picks the colours. Fair. Fair. Dolphins back in the day were good, like real good. But when I was like 6. Tilts, doing well, bro. Doing well. Nice flex. I wouldn't really call it a flex. I'm showing you guys just how easy this is. None of this is hard, promise. Right, now paint that red line just under the eyes. Again, can't go into the area around the eyeball, like so into this bit. Have to leave that. I'm going to paint the eyeball with it, but we have to stop our other line right here. Need that darker shadow to be showing through. Do some Stormcast. Nice, bro. Little Sigma Marines. So let's dot the eyes. You know, you're starting to see we're definitely getting that glowing look coming through. Whenever you do any kind of object source lighting, remember that your light source, the thing that is giving you the effect of that glowing light, is obviously the brightest thing. It's me, Skeptic! Yeah, the Hawk is on. The Hawk is always on, man. Sometimes we're on stream, but the Hawk is always on. Okie doke. Right. So like I'm saying, we need the glowing part to be brighter than where it's casting its light. That's the way that it works, right? Think about that candle on a table image we used to do. Think about when you just turn on a light. You know, if you look anywhere in the room that you just lit up, no issue. Look directly at the light, it's brighter. Don't do that, you'll hurt your eyes. So we need to paint all of these vents with this red, but we need to have that separation. If you don't have the separation between the vent and the area where we're casting our light, you basically just have a smudge, and anyone can do OSL like that. Just but if you can get your brush control so you're just hitting these points, you have that extra bit of shape. It all just looks a little bit on the magical side. Sometimes you want magical light, so that makes perfect sense. So we apply that scale 75 paint, just trying to fit its actual set as good and find good individual colours. So tilts. Don't go down a rabbit hole of I'm going to just use these paints. Just don't, because that's not the answer to anything. Scale 75 actual paints are really good. They have a phenomenal matte finish, and for artists that are doing display pieces, if that's the finish that you're after, and normally it is for most of the same reasons that I prefer a matte finish, which is that you put your highlights where you want them to be, and that's where they are, and that's the end of it, not where the ambient lighting in the room wants them to be, then they're really good. So if you're painting like a bust for display, if you're painting a contest entry, then I'd heartily recommend Scale 75 paints, because they're going to give you the control that you're after, and they're going to put you in a good stead for getting that win. However, and this is the unfortunate side of it, because they are a very, very thick medium. Everyone says it's gel based. Nothing on their website says gel based from what I remember looking at last time I looked for this. That was when that was before Luke APX rebranded his channel. But he did this like full-on video about how Scale 75 paints are amazing, and you know they're super beginner friendly, which they're fucking not. Like, they're really not. And then he got called out by some other YouTube guy, and that was an entertaining video on everything. And this other guy said Scale 75 have a gel-based medium. And I remember trying to find it, and I couldn't find anything about it being gel-based. If you think about it, gel is like a jelly. If that was the case, they wouldn't pour, they wouldn't run. So I'm not overly sure of that. I think it's just a really thick medium. A lot of pigment. That's why you end up with something that's matte. But regardless, that was a fun YouTube thing that happened. And I remember looking for it, I couldn't find it. So Scale 75, they're great for your display miniatures, but because of their medium, it will take you ages to get smooth base coats down on everything else. So if your army, you're doing some Eldar, let's say you decided, I'm going to do Iandan because I love yellow, or I'm going to do Samhan because I love red. It will take you half a forever to lay down the yellow or the red for your base coat on a unit, let alone the army. Now with an airbrush, they go through fine. They are so good through an airbrush because you remove a lot of the issues that you have with it being too thick by just adding flow improver, and you get that thin coat nice and instantly. But until you do all that, my god, they are a bit of a grind to use. Just do your very first resin printer. Nice, bro. Don't want to see any work in progress Primaris prints in the whip gallery though. Alright, so we worked up a little bit of yellow to give us a nice little orange, and we just put a tiny dab of that just in there, so just on this part of the eye socket, not all the way around here, just here, and the eye itself. You can do the same the other side. Let's come in from this angle because it's slightly easier. So just pop that on the eye. Mix up just a little bit more paint. For some reason I mixed up the smallest quantity of paint ever. That's not the right thing to do. Mate, you should definitely get an airbrush. Everyone should buy an airbrush if you have somewhere you can use it safely and that you're not going to be constantly in everyone's way, or making a lot of noise that other people don't want to have to put up with. Remember, compressor's loud. Makes all of the scale metallics go through it perfectly. And what nids? What nids? Hang on a minute. The other day, you were like, the missus has said, too many toys. All my ultramarines are going. What nids? Where did this suddenly come from? What airbrush won't kill your bank account? Go on, right, so for a budget airbrush, go on Amazon, search airbrush with compressor, and keep scrolling through till you find a good deal. Essentially, they're all going to be the same. They're going to be like a cheapy, Chinese, manufactured, mass-produced airbrush. And it'll work fine. I painted 3 armies with one. One is my own personal Marines. One is the Blood Angels you occasionally see down here. And the other is the Grey Knights that qualified for No Retreat 5, using a shitty compressor and a shitty airbrush that both now are on permanent loan to my housemate. It works. It's totally fine. There's no issues with doing that sort of thing. I upgraded because I do this for a living. And even when I didn't, I knew it was something that I would spend a lot of time doing after using that Chinese brush for ages. Something I really enjoyed doing, and it's something I knew I could have more enjoyment doing and get possibly slightly better results by spending money on the newer airbrush. So we got our Iwata Eclipse. Then, when my compressor started having a bit of an issue, got a new compressor. It still works, the compressor, it's just it has a tiny leak that we can't seem to solve. So, bought a new one before it died, as I had the cash at the time. Snake, that's great news, dude. Hopefully, does everything you want it to. Love new PC day. New tech day is great. Figures you might be bored of painting Dark Angels, but fuck's sake. Yeah, here's an idea for a Tyranid army, Jay. Ta-da! Just got a little of that in the recess. Just going to come in over the wet brush and just pull that out. And apply that highlight again. There you go, so the brightest point being the eyes. That's where we've got the most yellow. Good heroes ready to bite the bullet before the setup. I mean, don't buy it from Element. Do not buy an airbrush from Element. This goes to everyone, alright? As much as I'd love to get the extra crystals from all that, I'd love to get all the extra affiliate cash from that. Don't do it. Element charge you quite substantially more than you can find the same product for elsewhere. eBay, Amazon. In fact, actually, their airbrush is about the same price. No, sorry, the compressor is about the same price. The airbrush is about 70 quid more. So save the 70 quid, then go on Element and buy some toys to paint. You know. Definitely that. New tech, also cleaner, Xmas gift, broke after 20 seconds. Brilliant. Unlucky. Pearl Jam, what is your favourite Marine chapter and why, he asks. KK Moon is not an Iwata clone. Some people might tell you it is, but from what I've heard, it is absolutely not. And the difference in quality is what you'll get from that. That's second-hand information. but that's exactly how I've been had them described to me. Alright, there we go. Little glowy chest of our mostly dead Necron warrior. Nearly finished. Got to get some highlights now inside these cells. I want to keep it super small. Let's see, what is my favourite Marine shelter? From a looks perspective, either Ultras or Imperial Fists. And yes, I know Ultras, you know, yawn, but I just like them. I really do. Like, when they're all fully like parade ground, made up and all that. Fucking banging. I just love how they look. And Imperial Fist, I love painting yellow. I love painting yellow. He said chapter, not Legion. I mean, clearly, if it's like favorite color of power armor, it's definitely that though. If it's for like rule of cool, then I guess I'd probably go for the Black Dragons, because they're the ones with like the spikes that come out of their arm here as well, right? To me, that's cool. It's like Wolverine the Space Marine. So, you know, I can't be mad at that. Alright. Main unit, there you go. There's some OSL done by hand. Very, very rare that happens, but thought I'd hook you up, bro. Let's get the leather work done and out of the way, and then we're on to some freehand before we finish the base and move on to big Stampy boy. Looking forward to him. Does airbrush cleaner not equal water? Right, so I use water for my airbrush cleaner, but airbrush cleaner is different to obviously water, obviously. You should use airbrush cleaner, but I've probably used, well, I can show you. In 4 years of airbrushing, this is the first bottle that I bought. No, it's a lie. This is the second bottle that I bought, because the first bottle I used it every single time, and I ran through it in like 3 months. This bottle, that's the level we're at, has lasted me about 3.5, 3.75 years. You don't need much of it. You just put a little in every now and again, and you're good. Cake, excellent. Right, leather. We need this brown, and let's grab whatever this is. Xandri dust. Okay. You've seen the Emperor Spears on the cover of Next White Dwarf because we're getting rules again. Nice! There you go, main unit. Just in time for you to get your new Indomitus Captain. You might get some rules too. Just pull out a Citadel colour. Yeah. Bro, I mean, what yellow do you think we're using? This is the best yellow. Like, literally the best yellow. I shit on GW's paints a lot because most of their paints are garbage. But Flash gets yellow, Celestra grey, Administratum grey, Lothern blue, Warpstone glow, Caliban green, Flash gets yellow, Troll Slayer orange, Evil Sun scarlet is good, but I prefer Kato red. You know. All their flesh tones, apart from Pallid Witch Flesh, which is the shittest version of Sickly Skin ever. Nagaroth Knight, Warlock Purple, Screamer Pink. You know, loads. Loads and loads and loads of Games Workshop paints. Airflow per minute, do you mean PSI? Ever heard of a channel called Titan 40k chance? No. No. The only Titans I know are Brian and Adrian. Tabletop Titans. Right, so let's grab some of that Brune. Let's grab some of that Xandri dust. And get a nice little mix together. What do they do? Or Titan 40k, what does he do, she do, they do? Darker Design, Sickly Skin by P3 is fucking perfect. That gets used in almost, I'd say it gets used in at least 95% of the miniatures I paint. Somewhere. Because it's one of the most useful things. There's so much utility out of that paint that you're going to find a reason for it to be on everything. That and Cadian Flesh Tone are normally how I do faces. You just work it up and it's fucking magic. Absolutely magic. They're a lore channel. Oh, okay. No, if I'm honest, the lore is a very secondary concern to me. I love the lore. I love the stories of 40k. That's why we've got so many 40k audiobooks now. Well, that and the fact that Audible keep putting them up for super cheap. How many £3 sales do they need to do before I've got like all of the heresy? Because I don't think they need to do that many more before I have. But that's cool. If I ever run out of audiobooks, I will give them a quick go. Tilts, I have absolutely no idea, mate. As much as I know lots and lots and lots about airbrushes and how to use them, when it comes to the actual science of the compressor, as long as it goes all of the PSI, I'm good. You know. I don't know, Viking. We're approaching quite a lot of heresy. Got all of the Siege of Terror stuff, and we're still listening to Saturn 9 at the moment. So yeah, loving it. Picked up some of the first books, so we've got Horus Rising. What a quality fucking book that was to read. Let's see what it's like to listen to. If anyone's not read any of the heresy stuff, if you like reading, obviously don't force yourself into it because it's a mammoth fucking task getting through them all. There's 54 books to the Horus Heresy, and that is 4 books currently to the Siege of Terror, which is like the next part of it. You know, we're not on the Vengeful Spirit yet, having Big E and Horus, the title fight, happen. Tilts, like, if you do all of that at once, you're gonna have a horrible, horrible burnout. However, what I would suggest is get your airbrush and your paints now, so that when you eventually buy a 3D printer, you can paint all your shit. You know it makes sense. Nightmaze, how you doing, bro? You can swing your energy hammer as hard as you want, bro. Swing it super hard. I am invulnerable. I just absolute force field because I have finished painting a mini. And you don't have the power! You don't trouble your airbrush. It seems like the paint starts spitting after 5 minutes use. So there's a couple of things that can cause that. Usually it's... actually, let me just double check. When you say paint starts spitting, do you mean out the top or do you mean out the front? That's so 2019. Yeah, well, we're nearly in 2021, mate. Was that the last time you did a mini? How you doing, brother? Hope you had a good Christmas. Everyone, if you don't follow Nightmace, do give him a follow. He streams in both English and German, so for anyone that is bilingual, go check him out. It's the original head mod before he graduated Mohawk Academy. He started his own stream, blackjack and hookers. At the front, then it's very probably a case if you're just getting a little bit of a blockage on the tip. Now that happens even with properly thin paint. As you spray, paint coats the tip of the needle, it starts to build up on there, and then it will reach a point where it then has a critical mass and it gets fired off the tip of the needle. Macy! Cheers, bro. Thank you very much for that sub, mate. Really appreciate it. So yeah, that's normally what happens with spitting out the front. So all I do is I have this brush in my paint cup at all times. As you can see, it looks delightful. And I carefully run that around. If you imagine my finger is the needle tip, run that around the cup. So the side of it just sort of grazes the needle tip rather than bashing it over the tip of the needle where you could bend the needle. By doing that, that generally is going to clear up any issues that you've got. Mikey Mike, I thin mine 1-to-1 with Flow Improver, but bear in mind that to get something like a GW paint into these bottles, I've thinned it with thinner and Flow Improver anyway, and then it's 1 drop of this to 1 drop of this every single time. Now you put the Flow Improver in first, so that's sat at the bottom of the airbrush cup, which means that the channel between the bottom of the cup and the tip of the nozzle is then filled up with Flow Improver and not paint. If you put the paint in first, the paint's going to wedge all the way down there. You're never going to get that part as thin as you want to. So there you go, little airbrush tip for you. If you find that the paint isn't thin enough, even after doing that, are you using scale paints? Because they are thick, like 2C's thick. They require at least 2-to-1, if not more, Flow Improver. I'll show you on this in a minute a way to... It's kind of a hobby hack, I guess, but it isn't really. But there's an easy way to see if your paint is thick enough or if it's too thin while it's in the cup, by using the backflow technique. And there's a lot of people that tell you shouldn't do this because it can damage your airbrush. And the part of the airbrush it can damage is the O-ring. Now, O-rings in your airbrush are these little rubber bands. They're like a little circle of rubber. And O-rings have 3 dimensions. They have the outside edge to the outside edge, so the diameter on the outside. They have the depth of the O-ring itself, so the difference between the outside edge and the inside edge. And then they have like the Z-axis as well, like across the top. If you go and buy an O-ring specifically made for the Iwata Eclipse, it will cost you about 12 quid, I think, or 6 quid. I think I need to replace 2 and there was 6 quid each, so it came to 12 pounds. Can't remember. If you just go and buy some O-rings from anywhere that sells O-rings, it will cost you 2 quid. And you'll probably get 20 of them. And they'll be fine. So the backflow technique can cause issues for your O-ring. And you don't have too many issues with your ring. If that happens, you can replace it for a lot cheaper than Iwata say you can replace it for. So bear that in mind. There's a little holster. Nice little bit of wear. Let's do the same now on his big old belt. So again, like we did the other day, using those real small horizontal lines in there just to help give that battered effect. And we'll just pop a couple of tiny little highlights in at PR. Job done. Right, all that remains is a little work on the base and that shield. Folks are playing paintball, you have more O-rings than hairs on your head. I mean, that might be true for some of us, bro, but, No, that's ink. So, carbon black. Oh, white ink. White ink. So during the Lion stream, where we paint this gigantic Space Marine, during that stream, we had an accident with some white ink, and unfortunately, white ink will not wash out of your clothes. Don't know if you can see the big white stain down the front of the jumper. Yeah, that t-shirt, dead. Those jeans, not ideal. Let's just leave it at that. So, yeah. Most of us use socks for that. Great. Great. That's okay, mate. I use the packaging I'm sending this Marine in. Grim. Right. So using black ink. Let's get this fucking lion up, because otherwise I'm going to paint a splodge with a stick and not know what we're doing. So the first thing to do for any freehand reference material. Emperor Spears. And I mean, better known as the Sentinels. No, wait. The three chapters include Sentinel and Scarf. One at the Adeptus Veleri. Why is there no fucking 40k fandom wiki on those? Wait, why can't you just search Google for that? Search Google for this. There's Phaleris, it's in Lexicanum. Okay, here we go, and thanks, you've given me nothing, Lexicanum. Images. Could you send me a picture? Thank you. Oh, I got that. Yeah, I was at that one already. But they don't have the lion picture. They have the trident bit. That's it. And there's no link to the Adeptus Veleri. Veleri. See a while ago at DM. Cool, let's have a look. Right, there, you're right, actually. Your name is different in Discord because. Right, here we go. Here we go. Open big pic. Didn't really zoom in very much, but okay. Right, here we go. So this is what we're painting now. This slightly blurred demon horned lion. What? Why is it a demonic horned lion? Eldorian, we're doing well, dude. How are you? We're about to do some freehand of these little lions, or at least just one of them, on this guy's shield up here. So let's break down our lion a little bit. The center point will be kind of where the wing would terminate. No, not really. Center point is just above that arm, the lower arm holding the spear. Christ. Right. Let's just do it. So I need to mark in some stuff. So right here is the middle of the icon. That's where we want it to be. And it'd be really good if these weren't taken at a slight angle. Head comes up to sort of here, the spear comes up to about there, and Goes all the way down to the foot. It's kind of stood on the spear almost. I've got the angle wrong there. Looks a bit better. No, I guess not, mate. Horned Demon Lion, not a manticore. Oh, it could be, yeah. Yeah, Scorpion Tail. Yeah, manticore. There we go. No, it's not painted yet. Brilliant. Of course it's not. Of course it's not. Even if it was, it wouldn't be finished, right? So let's do the head. There's a hand about here. The other hand is about here. The feet be one at the end of the spear. Leads up through a bent knee into the body. And the other one is just weirdly separated from it. So, and it's still got those like weird cat legs as well. So, double jointed knees or whatever. Tail comes down before rising back up and having a scorpion tail on it. Then the wings come up past the head, top of the horns. Sorry if I'm ignoring chat for a bit, but I need to focus on this, and that's wing comes down like so. Gets kind of squared off a little. So the head will terminate. We get a couple of horns. So, that's a very, very, very rough journey around what this thing looks like. And as you can see, yes, it is very small. There you have it! Oh, not again. No, not again. This is a definite dirty habit. How you doing, bro? Leave me alone. I need to freehand. Oh, God. How'd you do intense, nice contrast without it looking cartoony? That's the thing. I think my models do look cartoony. I think this wouldn't be particularly out of place, like this style of colour in a Spider-Man comic. I guess some of it is that the colour palette I use is well balanced. So we've got all these super bright blues, like really, really bright blues. Craig the Celt. Damn. Thank you. That's a name I've never seen before as well. So Craig the Celt giving out 5 gift subs by being a boss to Murphy Andrew, Bob the Knight, Ritio Santi, IX Tab, and part of the plan. Part of the plan. What an epic name. Dude, thank you so much. All of you guys that just got given subs. Exclamation point win. An exclamation point mystery to find out why that's a good thing. Celtic Craig, people. Oh, god damn it. Okay. I did wonder if that was you. I'm like, hang on. Well, dude, thank you very much. I do hope you're feeling better. Fingers crossed. Yeah, so all you guys, exclamation point win, exclamation point mystery, both commands have been used. This is why you should be a subscriber. This month, though, instead of giving away one £50 hobby voucher, we're going to give away 2. Because it's New Year for the giveaway stream. How can we not do something epic for New Year? So we'll double the giveaway for the vouchers. At least. The stream will start at 9 p.m. UK time, Bob tonight, and it will last way through into midnight. We'll celebrate the new year. The draw for the hobby voucher takes place at 11:30. Some would say that that's not the main prize because we then give away a miniature. Now these minis are minis painted by me in the colour scheme of the winner's choice. So we've got the Red Gobbo and we've got the Adeptus Sororitas and Magifier. These are both epic minis. This one's super cool. This one is just beautiful. If you are a subscriber, it's no entry fee. Just be a subscriber. You could have a chance of winning either of these. If you don't like them, if you're like, nah, I hate this is a battle and that goblin looks too weird for me, you can instead just take the contents of the mystery box. Now, last month, the box was not chosen. Last month, Polly said, no, I don't want the box. I want the Invicta War suit you got. And so this has been sealed for a month. And the thing that's in there is desperate to get out. You could choose the box. Or maybe you've got a Sister Battle Army. And you're like, you know what? Jay would do my colour scheme. Super proud. I want that. The box is going to be cool, but I want that. Maybe you're like, actually, it's Christmas every day for me. Let's have the Gobbo. You want the box to be shaken? There you go. Now you know. Could be anything in that box. Bob the Knight says it's a sprue. I mean, it could be a sprue. There might be just some empty sprues in there though, because mystery box not always necessarily going to be a good prize. Sometimes it could be a booby prize. And I don't mean the prize of boobies. That's a different thing. A booby prize, you know, a red herring. So, do you want to take the mystery box? Could just be. It's not going to be base materials, but it could be a scenic base. You might just win a scenic base. To be fair, my scenic bases are pretty fucking epic. So, right, let's go back to this. And again, yes, I use a lot of neutral colours along with some bright colours, so it tempers it. If everything was like super reds and super blues and super greens, all in one thing, then it would look a bit over the top. So maybe that's how. Right, let's grab this picture taken on a slanty angle. Right. Let's flesh the head out a little bit more. So using black ink for this because obviously it's very, very, very thin, which means you don't have to worry about the consistency of our paint. And it's got tiny pigment, which means it gets really good coverage as well. So we're not having to repeat the same lines again and again and again just to get one coat of black paint down, like one bold pass of it. Could it be a caravan? Caravan? I do like caravans. Could it be a cuddly toy? Could be a cuddly toy. Yeah, there is a cuddly toy, in fact, on some of the Christmas miniatures that we've seen. Who knows? It's exactly that. Exactly that. It's like, here's what you could have won, except you never find out what you could have won if you didn't take the box. You coward. Right, on the arms, let's just make his little paws at the front a little bit bigger. And the other one is above the midpoint of the head, so that would be here. Comes in there. Need to just get a little bit more to this chest area. Like so. And thicken that leg up a little. Now for anyone that uses those like magnifying glass headsets, If you could lend it to me for a couple of minutes, that would be really, really appropriate. I'd love it. But essentially, you just paint. Just worry about painting it. And making really small motions with everything. So we're actually getting there. It's not that far off. Okay. Boxing my big red button, I will always choose it. Absolutely. Absolutely. Got it, man. Just got to. Why would you not? Take the gamble. Maybe the gamble is a bad thing, but at least you had fun. At that point, here's what you could have won is the 2 minis that you need the names of. Anyway, great holiday girl. That blue is gorgeous. Thank you very much, Faces and Bases. I'm a big fan. We worked the blue up from purple, remember. If you look just in here, you can see that that knee pad stuff, that's purple. If we flick him up from underneath, you get plenty of that purple showing through at Nagaroth Night. I think that's another reason why things don't come off too cartoony despite being vibrant. You've always got those shadows in there to counteract it just well enough, I guess. Right, Scorpion's Tail. Let's carry that on for a bit. That's our stinger. Just want to get a little bit more of that sting on. So lightest ever brush pressure. There you go. That's it. That's all we wanted. And I'll get that tail drawn up a little more. Whew. Girl painting, awesome. Darkwing Duck. That's a blast from the past. Right, we're not too far off. The spear tip needs some work, the horns need some work, but otherwise the legs could do with that back leg looks just a bit cartoony. That needs to be worked on. But how you doing? Crownblade, what up? We're doing this tiny little manticore holding a spear freehand because apparently I hate myself. Main unit, I expect you to freehand all of your Adeptus Vetinari or whatever it was. Logos, no. Every single one. It's coming out okay. You get to actually enjoy those Anarchies or just have the box? Mate, I enjoyed those Anarchies and the original Anarchy, in fact. I've been a TAT fan for the longest time. Saints and Sinners Club member from year 4. Fucking love them. Fucking love them. And for those, the last one I had was the last one that I had. And that was 3.5 years ago. When they were fresh, because this is the redo. I remember the the initial blast being full of power, and that was good. So yeah, big fan of those. I haven't had the new version. Like they did Chaos or something. I've got a buddy that's got some that are currently stuck in the States and have been for a while, waiting for everything to be sort of back to normal to be posted over. And I know I've got a few of those coming my way. So you'd be happy you can match that blue. No, freehand. You've got to do all the freehand. Don't. No, freehand. Anything that Pete makes is just solid gold. Like there's nothing that guy blends that I haven't loved, apart from one of the surrogates line, which was just not for me. I don't remember which one it was though. No. I didn't love the Boris. Sorry, the Frank. But I had one that was aged even more a couple of years after the fact, and that was good. That was really good. The Boris was even better. Boris was superb. Favorite tats though, absolutely. It's a very, very rare cigar. You'd be fucking hard pressed to get this. But it's the Black Label AFC. So for not Arizona Fine Cigars. Fuck. Something fine. No, brain's gone. That is phenomenal. The Black Label as a Churchill is flawless as far as I'm concerned. Right, so you've got a little bit of Signar Blue. I'm going to tidy up this spear tip a bit to begin with. So we're just painting over our freehand, just subtracting away some of that. I'm going to work on this back leg, on this hand just a touch. That hand a little too big. Go. Just going to redo that foot, I think. Commissar Bob, probably, man. Probably. My vices, the things I love most in life. 40k, fine whiskey of almost any description, and cigars. There you go, let's just wipe that off. This is why you should never be afraid of doing freehand as well. Like, so with the freehand, all of this is important. Obviously, all of this helps make up the overall result. But if you go wrong, it doesn't matter. Paint over it. Most of that will be zeroed out after another glaze or two. If it shows through a little darker, then we just grab a little bit of lighter blue and crack on again. Just keep getting rid of it. Paint it out. Just dry it down. So grab the hairdryer. I can't even draw a straight line freehand. No, I can paint a chap symbol. Honestly. So at the start of this year, I made myself a resolution. Like, I try to do a hobby resolution every year. I haven't thought of one for next year yet. Because last year's was go to a tournament at least once a month. We did. We went to about 20-ish tournaments over the course of a year, so really good. A couple of them in different countries, which was epic. Loved that. And ended up something like 140th in the ITC, 150th. This year, the resolution was get within the top 100. Still playing pure nights, retain our World Championship trophy for Knights. Which we've done, but it's not like that's a fucking brag right now with the lack of events. And every giveaway model we do for stream, do a freehand. So that Ultra symbol is a freehand. That was a giveaway we did when the Indomitus box came out. The Invicta had a few bits of freehand, a snowflake and things like that, you know. And we just try and find a way of putting a little freehand symbol on something. Now the Hive Tyrant didn't have it on because there wasn't really anything appropriate to go on it. But for everything else, we've made sure we've found a way to put a little bit of freehand on. And we started off with things that were really, really simple. And then we carried on sort of pushing ourselves. And every month we'd be like, can I do this? I don't know. Fuck it, we'll try it. Because if it goes wrong, we just paint over it. You know, that's the way. Let me look at this leg one more time. So we actually want to come down off the back of that a bit more. And fatten it up this side. So just keep trying. Like, start off with the small things. Some straight lines, do some hazards, you know, things like that, yeah? But then do something a bit more interesting. Do like an Ultramar symbol. Because that's a nice smooth curve to have to get right. Absorb. There you go, took me a sec. Hi. Can't write your name. So the thing to put at the end of all these sentences, and it sounds very cliched, a bit kitsch, is yet. And I guess that's what you meant when you put your previous Instagram there. Like, I can't do this yet. You know, it's just, you've just got to practice. If all of this was easy, then commission painters, i.e. myself, wouldn't have a job. And I like the fact that I now paint toys for a living. We've done it as a hobby project where we sort of ran a business simultaneously to running a full-time job. Sorry, to having a full-time job, not running a full-time job. And now it's becoming all of what we do. Got another month at the office, and then we're finished. All Warhams, all the time. That's gone down ever so slightly too far. So what we'll do is we'll come back in here, just thicken up that top line, and then we'll subtract off from the bottom in a sec, and then just pop a little blob out for his hand again, and then for the top of the spear, there you go. There you go. Fucking hell. Whew. Wow. Let me just put a little bit of blue on there, and then that bit is done. COVID did push me to full-time painter, sort of. Essentially, I got made redundant. Myself and my entire department got made redundant. So 28 of us lost our jobs. C Fox Paints! Dude! Welcome to the stream. Thank you for bringing your people to these people. Geek Sovereign, Glass Joe, how you guys doing? Thank you for the follow. C Fox, let me go give you a follow back, bro. A follow back, bro. Even that guy said he wanted to do it. There you go, dude. Hi, C guy. Hi guys, it's Joe. Faith to the hobby, but got a lot of enjoyment out of painting. So joking around you all in chat. Nice, man. There you go. You got a follow. Nice looking orc in your Insta feed, by the way. That guy's cool. Love that blue tattoo. What are they? The death skulls. Love them. Nice. Very nice. Who else we got come over? Let's see. Jess617, Agu Saku, Big Boss Waztec. How you guys doing? Thank you for coming to the stream. Big Boss Waztec, thanks for the follow as well. We just did a bit of freehand. In fact, we're literally just finishing off this bit of freehand up here. The it's not a chapter symbol. It's something else. What are they? It's the symbol of the Adeptus Velari, better known as the Sentinels of the Veil, and it's basically because the Emperor's Spears, is who this guy is from, have like a little coalition between them and a couple of other chapters, and they all wear this badge to show that they're friends, basically, I guess. Sergeant Rolf, you should up on your own. Well, I'm glad you turned up, man. Let's get our paint on together. Azorb, you were thinking to start with Slaves of Darkness and start collecting set. They're cool minis, actually. That's the old Chaos Warrior looking guys. Yeah, like those a lot. They're alright. They're kind of simple to paint as well, because you've got lots of flat edges in there that will really help out with just practicing your edge highlighting, getting your values up and down on them. So, yeah. Ugluk666, hello everybody, how's it going after Christmas? Thunder super nice to meet you and give you a box of Imperial Navy, Thunderbolt Fighters, and Necron Doomscythe. Awesome. Going to start that as these models look so awesome. I have no idea how to paint them. I think my side, I will not use gold, I'll use my Renovator, but I have no idea what everything to choose for. Maybe something like Cylon, Raider from Battlestar Galactica. That would be cool. That would be cool. I've got a couple to do, and they're going to be exactly the same as my own Necrons. So the red-black Terminator-esque Kyberdyne Dynasty colour scheme. It'll be fun. Cheers for the follow, man. If you've got any general hobby questions, don't be afraid of asking. Like, 'cause there's going to be somebody else that either can answer the question because you know we're all hobbyists, or I'll be able to help you out. We've been hobbying for over 20 years in a couple of different sort of batches. Got out of the hobby as most guys do at about 16 because you discover that there is an opposite sex and you'd like to get to know them a bit better. Still not overly liking that back foot. It's a bit club foot. Basically right now we're just taking some glazes of blue and we're just tidying it up. The shape a touch. Prometheus. Yeah, Prometheus OG. Thanks for the follow. Geek Sovereign. Cheers, bro. That was part of a Necron army I painted in 48 hours. So I don't get time to paint my own toys very often at all. I'm a commission painter. I spend almost all my hobby time painting other people's toys. And we were just talking about this before the raid happened, actually. Jess617, cheers for the follow. We are about to start working full-time in commission painting. Essentially, myself and my entire department at work, 28 people, are being laid off, in part due to COVID. But fortunately, we have a fallback plan of painting toys forever and using that to pay the bills. So we've got a load of commissions. I worked out earlier on this morning that I'm currently booked commission-wise until about mid-August. So I'm booked for most of next year, and we're not even in next year. And I'm fucking blown away by that. Absolutely blown away by that. That's crazy. Obviously, we do Twitch. Yeah. We've got Patreon, !Patreon, where you can find guides on how to paint the stuff that I paint. We've just started a series over there on the Void Dragon. So this is probably a 3-part series. It'll be split between Patreon and YouTube. Excuse me. Hiccups. Part 1 was what sub-assemblies to build your Void Dragon in, how to assemble it and avoid any mold lines and things like that, and then how to get this unbelievably cool corrupted Void Dragon. White blue can be tricky to pull off, but follow the steps in the video. You'll get this out in no time whatsoever. Twitch don't ban me for showing his body on stream. But that was video 1. Next week's video on Friday will be on YouTube, and that will probably be how to do things like the Blackstone elements of it, and that's going to be super, super cool. So people send you stuff to paint and they pay you, pretty much. Yeah, in fact, that's exactly it. Sometimes I buy it and they pay me for it and then pay me to paint it, but usually, yes, it's exactly that. So roll for my other, I'm mainly bone color with dark, warm skin and purples. I'm not sure how to do my seers, as they don't have bone, armor, cloth, or robes. Why don't you do like the inverse? So do the robes purple, but with like bone, like stripes, not like pinstripes. But there's an Eldrad Ulthuan you'll see down here every now and again that I painted up a couple of years ago. And he's obviously got the black cloaks that are flowing out, and he's got these 2 yellow stripes that just go down the sides with some runes and stuff on. You could do things like that. Brookie! How you doing, bro? I think, aside from some work on the base, this guy is done. No. No, not quite. Missed some highlights. Let's grab some black. Let's grab some white. Now we've got grey. And let's do just a quick wee highlight on here. Probably shouldn't have used inks to create our highlight colour, but that's what we've got on our palette, so that's what we're using. Not too bad, good. So Rolf, it really helps to unify the army, but also provide a definite change in your HQ style units. So they stand out a little bit more. It helps you out on the tabletop, you know. One thing that I have definitely got to get used to with the silver tide of Necrons we've got now is you look down and everything's silver and black and there's a billion of them. Too many sprues! Yo, dog. At that point, because there's so many of them, you're like, well, somewhere in here is a cryptek. Then what do you do? Conradson, how you doing, brother? Right, let's do the base. And let's see, it's 23 minutes past 10. We've got about an hour left before the whip gallery at the most. We're going to give this guy a matte varnish now. Then we're going to come in with some powders, some resin, and we're going to turn this base into something that definitely looks like a swamp. So, let's grab the best varnish in the world. Let's grab a glove because I don't want to get this shit on my hands. And do make sure you're doing this in a ventilated area, ideally with a mask on as well. This is evil shit, but it is phenomenal stuff. Tester's dull coat, absolutely epic. Do you also play? I do play, mate. I'm a very, very big fan of competitive Warhammer 40,000. So I play in tournaments. I've played in Don't Pick Up Under the Coat Spray. Yeah, Dan. That was so harsh, mate. So harsh when that happened to you. Yeah, with last year and this year combined, we've managed to play in Gibraltar twice, Amsterdam a couple of times. Sorry, Amsterdam once. Where else did we go? Oh, that might have been. Oh, we went to the LVO, but obviously the end of the world. So see, another person who does quality painting, competitive play. Love it, mate. Absolutely love it. World's best Imperial Knight player last year. Gonna be this year as well, as long as something weird doesn't happen. But yeah, it is what it is. Part of the plan. Peace out, man. Thank you for joining in tonight. Let that cure. While that's curing and while we've got the love glove on, we'll go on to our next job, which is working on this guy a little bit, and we're just going to undercoat him. By the time this undercoat's dry, that will be... Sorry, by the time this undercoat is on, that will be dry, and we can work on that base. But this is our next painting project. It's the other giveaway mini from last month. Let's get to it. Ugluck says, should I use varnish if I only paint minis to have them on the shelf? No intent to play with them. I use varnish for loads of different reasons. And I use loads of different varnishes for different reasons. So this is a completely matte varnish, right? When that dries on there, there'll be no reflection from anything we put on that at all. It's gone, all right? And I like the matte finish that I get from it. Tenner if you sound that. Tenner. And the rest, son. And the rest. I really thought about it, and then I decided against it. Basically, that was it. I honestly did think about it though. It's just I don't really have time. Not for this one. We're gonna do a freehand tattoo on him instead, like a tribal, very cliched tattoo. Yeah, dude. Azorb, you need to stay tuned throughout the giveaway stream this month, which is New Year's Eve. Hey, Panda, thank you for the follow. So on New Year's Eve, you guys can't go out. Yeah, we can't all go to the pub or the club and chill with our friends, meet some ladies, whatever. And so instead of doing the last stream of the month on a different day, skipping New Year's Eve, I figured I'd stay in. I'd take the hit for the team. It's not much of a hit if I want to hate New Year's. Can't see the point in it at all. But we're staying in, and we're doing our giveaway stream on New Year's Eve. So if you're a subscriber, you could win either of these two miniatures. I will paint it for you in a color scheme of your choice, and I will send it to you. If anyone's got their sub tonight, by the way, I still need to give you your meeps. Don't worry, you'll get covered. I'm working. I've been given a permit to drive to work. Brilliant. That sucks. So one of these is going to go to a subscriber, or a Patreon member of the video viewer or higher tier will give you one of these, again painted by me. This Warcry mini is one of those giveaways. If you don't like either of those, you can instead choose the mystery box. The contents of are secret. It's a mystery to everyone bar me. And Des thinks he knows, but he doesn't know. He's giving me like 4 fucking guesses, so he doesn't know. He just has a short list. So, that's happening on New Year's Eve giveaway stream. We're also giving away our usual £50 hobby voucher. And I said on the last stream we'll do a smaller voucher as well, and I decided not to do that. We're not going to do a smaller voucher. We're going to do 2 full vouchers. 2 £50 hobby vouchers to the hobby stockist of your choice. If you live in a foreign country to where I live, so if you live outside the UK, then can I come and stay at yours, because my country's going to shit. But equally, you'll get £50 worth of whatever your local currency is. Azorb! Getting his sub on. He wants one of those minis. Or the mystery box. Thank you for the sub, bro. You're going to get 3,000 meeps for that, which is the channel currency. You'll use those meeps to buy your ticket in the raffle to win one of either of those £50 vouchers. Now, the same person can't win both, but you'll have 2 chances. You don't have to enter each giveaway separately. You'll have 2 chances to win. Come to the colonies. Mate, I would. You know, happy enough. Once, this is going to sound fucking awful. I don't want it to happen, obviously, but once my family is, you know, then there's nothing holding me here. Jackie, if you're watching, you know, you're great. You can come too. But yeah, maybe afterwards. Holy shit! Maladeus! He's like, nah. More gift subs. More gift subs. You guys are fucking crazy. Comments up, Bob. Peace out. As you leave, JC rocks up. How you doing, dude? We're doing great. Thank you very much. Maladeus throwing out the gift subs to Avian Thulium, Seafox Paints, Kawaharia Vestora, Ugluck 666, and new XHX Ronin. You guys all got a sub courtesy of the amazing Maladeus. Exclamation point win and exclamation point mystery to find out why. Those are both good things. We have just talked through them, so you know. Don't come to Belgium. It's also a shithole here. To be fair though, you have got good beer. You know, I can get down with some Belgian Trappists and quads. We're good with that. I genuinely place a bet that half the time JStream has more subs than non-subs. Oh yes. Oh god yes. You guys are just... It's gift subarama over here. It's madness. Utter madness. Wu-Tang Clan comes in, casually drops his 11 months worth of subscribing. Nearly a year, bro. And we started off that hype train as well. In fact, we're into the level 3 hype train already. What? When on New Year's Eve, the mystery box will be revealed. You think, mate? There's at least one person sat there like, no, I actually really want that Magifier. I've got Sisters of Battle army I'm starting, and this would be really cool. So yeah, we're taking the Sisters of Battle, and then you'll be shit out of luck, and the mystery box will stay sealed forever. Forever. OB Team also dropping an 11-month sub. Birthday twinsies with Wu-Tang Clan, clearly. Thank you very much, bro. Oh, shit. It's still going. Too many sprues. It's like, actually, I want to get in on this action as well. Sergeant Rolf just got a sub. Let me give you your meeps right now, Sergeant Rolf. Wait, hang on. There's more. Yes, Liam... hang on. Liam B. Ski 123. Sorry, that took me a second. The dyslexia really did kick in on that. Just got his sub on as well. Oh my god, it's still going. It's still going! Guys, I need to pay. Tilts giving out 3 gift subs to Draken, Oakleaf, Danny Duke, and Maladeus. Maladeus, getting your sub. Hey man, I know you've been away for a while. No, I've been away for a while. Sub run out. Oh, bro, no, you don't need to worry about that, mate. You honestly don't need to worry about that. Look, when the pandemic hit, it's very clear with everyone. You know, you've all got far more important shit to do right now than sit here watching me. But don't leave. Yeah, I've got nothing left. Right now, life is hard and it's difficult for a lot of reasons. Not just necessarily like, well, you know, I've caught the Rona or whatever, but for just lots of reasons. Lots of us have lost our jobs. I am one of them, but I'm really happy about the fact I've lost my job, to be honest. Super happy about the fact I've lost my job because it pushed me into doing this full time, and I love it. So please look after yourselves first, like honestly. Demon Badger asking what? Oh my God, Nemod! I say Demon Badger and Nemod. Demon spelt backwards, by the way. Somehow takes that as a cue to act all demonic and throw another 5 gift subs. We got Cryo Cheese, Etheria, Skinny Boots, Slooty Cutie. That's epic. And what was Workshop? What was Workshop? If you're here, say hi, and everyone can follow you. Nemod, legend, mate. Legend. Thank you so much, bro. We're halfway through nearly that level 5 hype train. This is madness. Dino Badger says, what primer do you use, Jay? I have some Vallejo primer. I find if I thin it, it chips super easy. If I don't, I clog my airbrush too easily. Maybe me just being rubbish with the airbrush. I've not had it long. So look, I was going to talk about this a second ago, and so let's do it. Let's break the streamer. Macy. No. And Absorb, yes, I almost always undercoat in black. Almost always. There's been maybe 4 minis this year I haven't undercoated black. Alright? So, Macy! What are you doing? Everyone, give Macy and everyone else that's gifted some subs some motherfucking hype. The hype train is complete. We've got subs going out to Malev Flow Shinobi, epic streamer, Antonio Deep Games, epic streamer, Newton Double R, Natural Born Loser, and Mr. Dr. Banks. Yeah, I told you, mate, dyslexia. You know. Wraith, how you doing? Damn, guys, damn. Right, I'm going to talk about Primer, which is boring, okay? The other night, we raided Jason Craze, i.e. Monument Slowfuse. He's an epic painter. And he's just coming out with his own line of primers, which I'm kind of excited to try. Now, he says they don't need thinning. And he gave us a talk about what happens when you thin paint. John Pavidis! Mate, I know exactly who that is. Thank you very much for that Patreon pledge. Rutang, you utter boss. Thank you very much, brother. Glad we finally got that working. Basically, let's not use that. Here's some pre-mixed stuff that I've made up in a thinner bottle. But the primer I use is this. Vallejo Polyurethane Surface Primer. Now, what Jason said was completely correct. If you take this and you thin it, then you are breaking up the bonds that the polyurethane would have, and you will end up with a primer that isn't as tough and as durable as it should be. And he is completely correct. He is 100% correct. However, I don't know what airbrush he uses, but if I try and put this in this and fire it out, I get maybe 2 sprays, and then the airbrush grinds to a halt. Gumbalina! Give it a sub to Mamdare. Let me give him or her their meeps. That's just one. Easy to do. So, because I was fed up of my airbrush clogging, and it's not a particularly precision needle, it's 0.3 millimeter. You know, you don't want that clog to happen. So I thin it, and I thin it 1-to-1 with Vallejo airbrush thinner. By doing that, yes, you are breaking the bonds that the polyurethane will have, so you won't get as much of a barrier. But I don't know how he's handling his minis if there's paint falling off all the time. And yourself as well. Like, I put everything on a shot glass so that I'm always handling the mini by this. Occasionally, side of the base, and really, really rarely, I'll sort of brace the mini as well while I'm going. And at that point, sure, I run the risk of brushing some off, but I also do 2 coats of the thin surface primer. So whilst I have 2 coats on there, as long as that cures well, the paint will stick to it. As long as that cures well, both the bottom coat will stick to the mini and the next coat will stick to that bottom coat, and I'll get that solid bond. I've never had issues with paint chipping. We've got the level 5 hype train. Choo choo, motherfuckers. Choo choo. Thank you to all of you for that. That's mentalness again. Much love. So, I always thin my primer. I must have painted... Well, I've ran out of like 3 of these, thinning it 1-to-1, put it that way. And you know if you use this how far that stretches before you start running out. This would be the 4th bottle of this primer I'll have bought, and it all gets thinned like that. The only time I don't thin it with thinner, not flow improver, but thinner, the only time I don't thin it with thinner and use flow improver is when I'm doing base rims. Thinner tends to leave a little bit of a brush stroke on there, and I want it to be super flat and super matte. The other thing, which means that I don't have that issue with paint chipping, is I varnish every model. Sometimes several times during the painting process. This guy has currently been varnished twice. In fact, the hat has now been varnished 3 times. Because it's white, and it's a pain in the ass to, like, you know, go back in and sort out any issues. So, yeah. To be fair, it is made in Spain, so I'm not surprised, bro. You can use rattle cans. Yes, you can use spray cans. People use GW stuff. People use Halford stuff. People use whatever comes out of a can. You do what you want to do. I don't. It's me, Skeptic. Peace out, mate. The reason I don't is because I prefer the control I get with the airbrush. We're putting on 2 thin coats of our primer to ensure I have absolutely no point on a miniature where it is starting to pool up, where it's obscuring detail. I can do it indoors. I don't have to go outside. So if it's pissing it down with rain, I don't have to, like, well, I can't do any of this today. So I have an airbrush and it's convenient for me. Do you need an airbrush? The answer is obviously a no. Should everyone have an airbrush? The answer is not necessarily a yes, but in my opinion, as someone that paints with an airbrush a lot, everyone should have an airbrush. And everyone should learn to love their airbrush as well, because they're fucking great. Real great. Right, do we even need the wet palette? No, we don't. We are going to need a mask. Actually, no, we've got some highlights to do, and then we'll need the mask. We're going to use some powders, some weathering powders. Love weathering powders. Right, we used brown and highlighted it with grey the other day for this, so let's do the same now with our edge highlights on the big old rock that he stood on. We then did a load of washes with some, military shader from the Army Painter to get a green swamp sort of effect on this. And we also went with some dark tone over all of this to really give it a muddy, claggy, somewhat shitty looking perspective. Firstly, vouch for airbrush as PogChamp miniature hobby tool, mate. It's got airbrush is great. Hey, you ask as many questions as you want, bro. Oil wash is cleaned up, but I may have overdone it with the white spirits. Got a headache now. Got to use that with an open window at least, mate. I know in the winter, you know, you're like, cold, but look after yourself, man. Used to use rattle cans to prime models. Normally it was fine, but I had a couple of models where the paint went on rough and heavy. Finally got around to stripping them the other day and re-priming the average. Much nicer finish. That's the big issue with rattle cans, right? They are unbelievably dependent on heat and humidity, which means what you could technically say is they're dependent upon the relative humidity of the atmosphere you're in. Victim, you'll know all about that. So if you live somewhere where it's super hot or it's super dry, when you spray, the paint will dry faster, which means if you spray from a distance, like sort of here to here, the paint might dry there. So when it hits your model, you've got like the tiniest grains of sand, just like poof. If you spray somewhere where it is wet and potentially cold, but cold can have the other effect where too much cold can remove the moisture from the air. So careful with that one. Then you might find that you're spraying it and it's going on and being pushed all around. So you've got to constantly adjust your range when you're using the aerosol can. I don't need to with the airbrush. So you have a basically point blank the spray can. Yeah, probably, man. I bet he's never fucked that up either. I bet he has. Got to get the practice down with that. Have I tried sculpting before? Sergeant Rolf, I've sculpting with like green stuff and things. Yes, sculpting, digital sculpting. I am so far away from being able to do anything like that ever. I am not computer illiterate at all. We've got some okay Photoshop skills coming along now. We've got some good video editing skills coming along. Mostly just due to a sense of like timing, which we've learned from doing this. But that's not in my wheelhouse. When it comes to real sculpting, although I say real sculpting, everything's real sculpting. It's just a different skill set. So physical sculpting is what I meant to say. Yeah, we're okay at it. We can do some real basic things like hands and that sort of thing. I'm just really not so good at it. Yeah, Des, absolutely right. Most of the time, you'll be good. Nice long warm bath for a spray can goes a long way. Yes, it does. Pop your spray can in a bucket of hand-warm water. Not hot water, not out of a kettle, none of that. Just chuck it in there for 10 minutes, 20 minutes. Go out and spray. That helps out. What else can you do? You could spray on a bit of sprue and just sort of examine it and see how close you need to be. Until you really get the absolute like eye drawn in for where you can put your spray. Rutan, glad you like it, man. It's a good blue. It's definitely not ultramarine blue. It's definitely brighter than that. Yeah, big fan of it myself. Right, I just realised we can't do powders on this because I'm going to need to matte varnish over the shoulder there. So, is there anything else we can do? Not really. Okay, we'll do some work on the shield then for our matey boy over there. For the shield, we're going to go metallics, silver, and a brass, and we're going to get some weathering going on. So just coming in with a little highlight on some of these edges. That was a little bit fat. Just brush that off. Might commission one of these models and pay for a sculpted version of that freehand. Mate, you can try. Like, I'll tell you my hourly rate, and it'll be a lot of hours. Remember, time is literally money at that point. I'll put you down for a week's worth. Yeah, just don't spray it on me. Brilliant. Breathe, hold, take care, bro. But he can. No, Des, no. Bad Des. Bad mod. It depends on what effect you're going for. If you're looking for a liberally scattered my house over a 60-foot area, that'll do it. That'll do it. If you're looking for a nice smooth coat of paint on your minis, that won't do it. That won't do it at all. Melchete, awesome. I'm glad, dude. Don't forget as well, when you use your airbrush, clean it every time. That should go without saying, but I know a lot of people don't, and you should. You know, it's a precision tool. You've spent some money on it. You know, use your common sense and treat it properly. However, oh fuck, we haven't done the hourglass. Haven't done the hourglass. We got the palette. We got some black somewhere. Yes, no, yes. That's black ink. I want black paint. I actually ran out of black paint. I've got like the dregs in here and almost nothing else. I've had to buy some Vallejo black off Amazon because that's the only thing I could get delivered the quickest. So annoying. Yes, you need pressurized air for the airbrush. You have a compressor. So it's two parts. You have the airbrush and the compressor. What was I about to say? A bowl of water is genius. Honestly, Retributors delayed my custom. What, bowl of water? Sushi. Love sushi. Airbrush cleaning. That's what we're talking about. Every month or so, I will deep clean my airbrush. So that's not just take it apart, scrub it, put it back together. That means take it apart, get some cotton swabs, get into the real like dingy parts of it, and clean all those. Put a tiny bit of like alcohol thinners on there just to help get all those. And then I'll use the airbrush lube. Yes, there's lube for your airbrush. No, it's not lube that you could use elsewhere. But I'll use that. I'll make sure all of the seals have got a little bit of it on to help protect them. I'll make sure all of the pits where you screw stuff together got it on. And that will absolutely sort it out. Meant to put 20 sec to warm up the chocolatine. Put 20 minutes, forgot about it. Nice. Nice. I have an ultrasonic jewelry cleaner. Right. Somebody out there needs a smack. Ultrasonic cleaners, what they do is they basically vibrate, and they vibrate into a liquid, a solution, which could be water. It could be something like isopropyl alcohol or something along those sorts of lines. But they vibrate into that fluid, and that fluid then obviously helps to dislodge dirt from parts of your airbrush. If that happens, you still have to go in and clean it afterwards. I know a lot of people that take an airbrush, throw it in the ultrasonic, press go, and walk away. Come back, expect it to be magically clean. That's not the way it works. What are we going to paint black? I was going to paint something black, but I forgot what the fuck it was. Hourglass. Also, with an ultrasonic cleaner, one thing that people don't tell you, possibly because they don't realise, is that most airbrushes are plated with stainless steel. They're not actually made of it, they're plated with it. My airbrush, somewhere on here, I thought it said stainless, but maybe not. Look in the cup, obviously we've used it this evening. It's a bit dirty, but down there, a little bit of like brass looking colour, whereas up here, shiny steel. That used to be what colour that was down there. Years of use and constant cleaning, and I've just somehow knocked the fucking crown off that. Fuck. Well, that's something to find tomorrow morning. Just put that there so I can't possibly damage it. Bollocks. That's annoying. Years of cleaning it and just giving it a scrub has meant that the plating has just disappeared a little bit. Brush for hire! Corey, how are you doing, bro? Everyone, give this guy a follow. It's fucking annoying. If I can't find it, I actually do have a spare one of those. And he's coming in with his sub as well. 6 months, bro. Already? Time flies, man. How was your stream? What were you up to? Let's get a shout out for this quality individual. In fact, Timmy Sprue's already on it, and Des is on it. Legends, the pair of you. We're just talking about airbrushes and ultrasonic cleaners. We just put the finishing touches to this lad, our Emperor's Spears Indomitus Captain. Did a little freehand on him earlier on this evening, the manticore holding a spear. It looks okay. It's a little bit of a cartoon devil, but it's okay. We're right with it. Right now we're painting the hourglass, which is going to be very, very simple. A couple of quick highlights and done. So working up some black and some grey. Ali Moore 21, thank you for the follow. Dan, how you doing? So, if you put your airbrush in an ultrasonic cleaner and it rattles around in there and does its little like super vibration thing, you can start to peel that stainless steel coating off your airbrush. And you really don't want that, because the more of that you lose, the harder it is to clean your airbrush. And so all of that becomes gloriously counterproductive. So I will put mine in the ultrasonic very, very rarely, and it's only if, through a bit of elbow grease, I can't remove whatever paint is in there. Let's say I've had a really, really long airbrush session, which for me is more than 8 hours. So a very long airbrush session. Then I'm trying to scrub it out and I just can't get part back. Then I'll put it in the ultrasonic. But I don't even put it in the ultrasonic on my once a month deep clean of the airbrush. So just take care of it. Don't buy an ultrasonic just for airbrush cleaning, because you need to resist the temptation to keep putting it in there, that's for damn sure. How often should you lose the airbrush? I currently use 3-in-1 oil on my cheap Amazon one. I use once a month. Once a month, deep clean. We lube up all the joints and the trigger, just to make sure everything flows through nicely. And away we go. So, don't do much. Literally the tiniest drop. The lube I got with this airbrush, the Iwata here, still looks brand new. There's so little coming out. Tilts, it depends. Is it exactly the same kind of process? I don't really know much about those, but I'd be very hesitant to put my 170 odd quid Iwata Eclipse into any machine just to save me 5 minutes of scrubbing. I'll take the time, thanks. I appreciate that for me it's a business tool. It's an essential tool. And for some others out there, it might not be. But equally, I'm going to do absolutely everything by hand and treat it carefully, rather than chucking it about into other things. Where's that Spartan helmet from? This has been 3D printed. This is for Main Unit, who should still be in the chat, and he might be able to tell you. But it was 3D printed with a clear resin. Yellow and purple tunic looks really cool in the showcase. Yes, that's a very, very awesome Broodlord we did for Neil on Hellstorm Wargaming. That was one of the giveaway prizes. He won that, and Neil is a enormous Iron Warriors fan. He and I share that love. Hazard Stripes. Yeah, there's your hourglass. Easy peasy. And he said, "Can you do Hazard Stripes on a Broodlord, a biological creature?" So he painted the Broodlord as a wasp, basically. Love it. Right, anything else that we might have missed? I don't. Yeah, we got a little bit of gold on there. And then we might end up finishing the stream early. It doesn't happen often at all. It really doesn't. But, you know, if it does, it does. Just because I don't really want to start anything on that guy with a tiny amount of notice. So yeah, we might just do a bit more whip than normal, I guess. This makes you point whip. You can show us what you've been working on. In fact, Corey, I'd love to see that Necrosius. So definitely get yourself in there with some picks if you can. Got a little bit of goldy looking chain to do down here. She's gripping the hourglass. So main unit, I will finish this guy off. Oh fuck it, we could do the transfer. Yeah, we'll do the transfer. I'm not going to gloss varnish it, we'll just live with that. We've got the base to do. We'll finish that off stream. It's basically going to be base. Okay, so putting down some weathering powders, a little bit of green, a little bit of brown, and then chucking on some UV drying resin in a couple of little pools, very, very thin, and just setting that in with a torch. Had a good Xmas, mate. Yeah, really did. You take care. I'll see you soon. Toony Sprues, are you off as well? Yes, you did. Take care, mate. Have a good one. Nobody painted to be airbrushed the metal guns. Yeah, Vallejo do this stuff called metal guns. No, not that. Call it something else. We don't do the nails on this guy either. Fuck, we've missed so much on the shield. How have I managed that? In fact, Toony Sprues. Sorry, I'll print you one. It looks a little bit like this. Metal guns. That's the one. That's the one you want, right? Our weathering powder is just another name for straight up pigments. Yeah. I've always called them weathering powders. Which they're marketed as rather than like actually being, but Rival Crafts have just done a brand new range of them, and Sarah has up to 90 colours that she can get hold of for you. So if there's anything in particular you're after for a like an alien landscape or something, definitely check her out. Exclamation point Rival. Her stuff is phenomenal. Main unit, do you have any tufts on your bases? No, we're doing swamp. But if you've got something on your bases currently, let me get those tufts down before we start putting the powders on. I thought there was another one. It's just here. Really weird place to put one, but whatever. Not yet, all your bases are black still. Alright, cool. Then you will probably need to buy some tufts. Unless you don't want to put one on. It's your shout. But I would definitely put some on. Right, I'm going to take a little black ink and some water. I'm going to make ourselves a little black wash. Because the black wash is there and I'm too lazy for that. The whole turning around thing, just like, no. Overrated. Also proves again that you don't need to buy something that's got the word wash written on it to do a wash. You just make thin paint with water tilts. That's your question from much earlier on. Sergeant Rolf, trying to get a more natural forest feel with mixed undergrowth. In here, every now and again, you'll see an Imperial Fist in like a jungle, and some Nurgle Demons equally in a jungle, more like Nurgle's Garden. Those were done using the preserved foliage that Rival Crafts has, and I cannot recommend that stuff enough. That stuff is really, really good. It's basically a real plant that has been preserved in glycerin, and it's gone solid. Basically, it's dead, but it's still green, and that's the important part, because as it's still green, it looks exactly like you'd want it to for like a nice rich, verdant environment. My question about oil paints and airbrush if you use water, I frequently use water as well as flow improver, not instead of. Flow improver is a drying retarder as well as water. I use flow improver specifically to slow down the drying time of the paint. Sounds amazing. It's great stuff. Really, really good stuff. Well worth looking into. Gumbalina, that sounds impressive, but that's not for me. I'll let somebody else do that. If I want to take a black base and make it look like it's a swamp, what would you recommend I get from Rival Crafts? I'm doing plague ridden for my death garden. First off, you need some particulate down. All right, because a swamp can't be flat, and just going with a GW base like this obviously is not enough texture. All right, so the first thing I tell anyone to put on a base, and I've asked Sarah to look into stuff that she can supply. There it is. Fuck yes. Oh, good God. Holy shit, fuck. That was actually causing me like some serious worry. Nope. Found it. It's all good. So, first thing I suggest everyone gets is some of this Vallejo earth texture. I like the dark earth. There's a lot you can do with it to sort of sculpt it a bit. And that works really, really, really well as a glue. The next thing is to just grab some various sands from Rival Crafts. I have a drawer that, I mean, I don't even know how many of these tubs I've got. Sarah sent me the entire range of her new stuff recently. I've got a load of the old stuff as well. But I would suggest everyone get themselves some particulate sand, which is extremely fine sand. This almost feels like a powder in your fingers. It's not, but it's kind of there. It doesn't feel grainy, and that's important. Then get some larger particulate, such as that, and then something even bigger. So here's some other ballast. Now, what you do with these is you put your pumice down, which is what this is. Once that's on the mini and it's still wet, you take some of this and you sprinkle that on. Actually, you do it the other way around. You start with the biggest stuff. Because if you cover it all with that, you're covering this up, and this is going to be your glue, basically. So you put some of the bigger stuff on there, and Ventress! Getting a Patreon pledge in. Absolute legend, mate. Thank you so much. Yes, don't go to a beach and scoop up sand. Definitely not. If you do, if you're like, well, I could just pick up sand or I pick up dirt from my garden, I'll be fine. You can do that, but on a low heat, I mean low heat, put it on a baking tray in your oven, tell your missus, tell your mum, whatever, otherwise you will get so much shit. And just dry it out. Because you get it like warm enough in there, you'll kill whatever bacteria, whatever live things might be on there as well. But here's a base that we have worked on. This is why this is way, way better for your bases than PVA glue and sand. You can sculpt it. So we've got these kind of exploding craters where the menhirs are discharging their energy. All right. So the pumice is down. We've got the large particulate, the small particulate, and the very small particulate. You can see little bits of that all over if you look real closely. Once you've done that, make sure you're doing some painting. So all of this stuff I get from Sarah. Des, you've been drinking. All of this stuff, I paint over the top of it. I don't like anything on a Mini that's not being painted, apart from like static grass. That's fine, you know, it's got to look different. And those preserved foliage fronds, things like that, they look fine. That's no problem. But not your beach sand. So what we did then on this, we did some browns through the airbrush, lighter brown for the base, then we airbrushed over some dark tone and some military shaded green from Army Painter. We've highlighted this up, then we're going to go on with some pigments. The pigments we're probably going to use are from the MIG range and Vallejo, because MIG doesn't have a bright green, and Vallejo does. Can't find it right now, but it's in this lot of them. No, it's actually not. It's buried in the back of that palette. But use some weathering pigments. So just get some like dusts, basically. Now Sarah has just started doing these. I'm going to give those a try when I get the chance. Particulate powder, golden brown. So we'll give this a go. This is a massive tub of basically paint that hasn't had medium in it. All right. So if you added medium or water to this, you'd get paint. Instead, this is just paint that's like raw. Okay. And then you brush that on using a really, really, really shitty brush. So I've got these terrible, like super cheap brushes from Amazon. But you take this, you stab it into your bases, get some browns, get some greens, get some darker colours in there as well. Swamp's not really looking nice and bright most of the time. You know? The whole bog marsh thing, not going to look good. Then get some fronds on there. So again, Rival Crafts, static grass. I've used several packs of their autumn fall. I even have a blend of this that Sarah makes specifically for me and my Necrons that has none of the red in this. So if you look really, really closely at these, you'll see that there's the odd bit of red static grass in there. Kind of tricky to see. Shift him out of the way for a sec. There you go. You can see those little red lines. So she makes them for me without the red for my Necrons, because the Necrons, as you can see from these, have loads of red. Oh shit, I've got the wrong tufts on that one. Never mind. But anyway, there's loads of red on there, so we try and avoid the red tufts, but I have to pull those off because I've used the wrong. Whoops. Buried in that drawer. I got J Special Blend written on some of them. Never mind, right? But that's how I would do swamp bases, is what we're doing on this guy right here. Anyway. Stop talking about putting bad shit in the microwaves. Please. Anything else we need to do on this guy? We just got a quick highlight to do on that gold. And that's then officially it. The more you people say that I've got an OnlyFans account, the less likely it's going to be. Also, the more likely is someone actually genuinely asking me for the info. Cena100, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the stream, bro. Alright, there we go. Done. Main unit, aside from the base, he is finito. Alright. Sorted. Lots of fun on this guy. Done the sword. Done this weird manticore freehand. Done a very cool blue. Does some OSL brush blending earlier on today on the stream. No airbrush work, not for that. Done some work getting texture on our various elements of the model. So we've got the cloth, the wear and tear on the holster, and so on. And the reason we've done that is to help differentiate our different areas of bone. We've got the skeleton that's bone. We've stippled a lot of the work on there. We've got these that are bone, which we painted by just using horizontal slashes of paint to help give that crinkled texture. Same different texture on there. So loads of the same elements, same colours on the miniature that we've changed subtly. This and this were exactly the same colours. This had the only difference being a wash of some green that we kept in our recesses, and it gives us that very old, kind of aged antique bone effect that I was really, really hoping to get. Oh, nice, dude. I'll check them out. Tilts, you take care, bro. It's when enough people start asking for the info, you'll start considering it. Maybe. Maybe. Scene, no worries, bro. Right, we're gonna go into the whip gallery. So show me what you got. Exclamation point whip, exclamation point Discord. Head on over here and upload some pics. So work in progress today at 21:16. That was the last one. I saw Bob. Been building and kit bashing my new Indomitus box, he says. So I saw some Space Marines covered in Necron bits, which is one way to go. Oh, the lovely, slightly sweaty hand. God love it. God love it. Sleep the cutie. Nemod, absolute beast with that. Yeah, so there's a few crons there. Sorry, a few cron parts split up across some Marines. This is his Blood Angel's successor chapter that is now possibly also Deathwatch. Who knows? Got my whip, but I don't know what the stand... Ah, no, mate. Can't do that. Twitch does not like any of those things. Macy. Oh, wow. What is this? Oh, this is the, like, Cyber Centurion thing, right? I don't know if it's meant to be futuristic, but from that armor, I get, like, that kind of Batman, like, slightly armored latex thing going on. Rather than leather or whatever a Centurion or Legionary would have had back in the day. It's a very, very cool sculpt. And what a mohawk this guy's got. That's a very cool bust. Yes! Yes! Definitely from Crisis. This is Theseus, says Polly. Nice. Oh, it's... No, it's gone. It begins with them, I think. I'm shit with names, guys. What is this? That's cute. That's quite cute. That looks like something from Men in Black. But I like it. That's from Ritual Casting. That's the one. That's the one. Nice. Very cool, Macy. Mishap damage! 9 months. Absolute superstar. How are you? I saw your Instagram top 9 earlier on, and my favourite is, again, the little kitty in the armour. God love it. God love it. And you deserve way more Instagram likes as well. So everyone, if you've got Instagram, follow Mishap Damage on Instagram. She posts some amazing stuff. Same username. Go check her out. Crownblade. Still working on those sisters. Different squad? Is this a new squad of sisters now? Or have we just added the little winged sheriff? No, you didn't have a heavy bolt before. I haven't imagined that, have I? Not all of this is new. Also, sorry, some of this is definitely new. Love it, mate. You and... Oh, fuck. Is it Gumbalina? Is it you? Doing the sister battle to very different, very individual and unique color schemes. I love it. Really, really like these, mate. Let's get a close-up view. Like, extreme close-up. Nothing's really out of place on these, man. Really like it. Like, you could do glowy eyes if you wanted to, but everything else is so soft and so subtle that I wouldn't. I really wouldn't. Some of the armor you could maybe do with getting a slightly deeper shade. Like on this lady here. The legs could do with a little bit more shade just given to them to help influence the shape a bit more. So her back leg, that you can see there in the picture, you've got a very easy shade there. The front one, where the weird Primaris knee protector thing is, you could maybe get a little bit darker around there. Maybe between the joints in the foot, you could maybe get a little darker around there. But this is me being extremely picky now. You've smashed these, mate. They look epic. Phyto Old School, thank you for the follow and welcome to the stream, bro. Here's something, yeah. Again, being really picky. I love the embossed letters, but your actual lettering is a bit thick. Really thin your paint and use the lightest possible bits of brush pressure to help get those sorted out. Some of those are a bit chunky. I do love the embossed lettering that you've done though. We used brown for all of the ones on this guy because it just works better than black. It's a little bit softer. It looks like there's just old ink rather than something that's necessarily extremely clean and fresh, which also has a lot of tears and battle damage in it. So, C Ra, thank you for the follow. Welcome. But unbelievable, mate. These are my favourite thing that you've painted by far. This lot of sisters. This colour scheme. Fucking brilliant, mate. Great, great work. Admiral Ants, about 8 hours of work on this guy, and the other 5 really liking how they're coming out. We saw these the other day. I think. We did, didn't we? Yeah. They're looking good, man. The lighting in this is very different to the last one. But you can still see those blue shades. The skin looks rough. Ugh, just rough. I would not want to see these ever in real life. Murphy Andrew, how many times have you been to Warhammer World, may I ask? Thoughts of it if you have been? In its current form, like 2 or 3? Probably 2. I've only been twice in its current form. Yes, you should go. With some friends. And book a table and play a game after the apocalypse is finished. However, I used to work up there. I used to work in London as a studio painter. So I was one of the guys that occasionally would get dragged out of whatever store they were in to go and cover another store. I had to go up there and do a load of painting. I painted 200 Goth Orc boys. I fucking hate doing checkerboard patterns because all the shoulders had to be perfect. I got really good at doing orc skin because all the faces had to be perfect as well. So that was for some Games Day style event. They needed a shitload of them. As long as the faces were perfect and the shoulder pads were perfect with the crosshatch, everything else could be like a 7 out of 10. The staff canteen was banging back in the day. I don't know what it's like now. I love that pink to blue. Yeah, works really, really well, mate. I don't know what it is, but in these pictures, the models look a little bit a little bit lumpy. Whereas in the other pictures they didn't, and so I'm wondering if this is just the way the camera has taken the image, or if the other image that we saw today just smoothed it out a bit. That's the plants we were talking about earlier on. Yeah, I went with Mikey, and I'm sure I've been back since as a bit of a flying visit more than anything else. So I think I've been twice recently. This guy is epic. There's definitely some texture on the skin, right? That's not just a photo. It's weird. In places it looks super smooth, and in others it doesn't. And then you've got everything else which definitely isn't super smooth. So, like the horns on that guy's head, they're very cel-shaded looking. But nothing else is. And it's absolute odds with the rest of the Mini. So, you either need to soften that a little bit as you work through it, or apply the same kind of level of super shading to the other parts there. And with the texture you've got on the skin, I'd try and smooth that out where you can, or make it a real feature. But you've kind of got to, again, choose a path with it and go down one or the other. You're doing really well though, bro. Like, honestly, I love the colours that you've got for the scheme. This, like for your tentacles and stuff, looks great. Really liking the way you're going with them. But it's you're at a point now you have to start making some decisions. Horns to pick are weird because it doesn't look like that in real life. Cool, okay. But everything else, just give it an extra thought. Demon Badger, there's a guy who has stood on this fighting it, but I've not started him yet. No way. Oh, that's awesome. Dude, that's sick. So he stood on the dragon, fighting the dragon. He's clearly chinned it. I mean, look at that massive divot in its face. I'm guessing that's part of where the guy is stood, perhaps. That's quality. Love the amount of texture you've got on this. Really, really digging that. The colours, the orange up through to a bit of yellow. He's holding its tongue, pushing it. Oh, wow. Awesome. Mate, I need to see this when it's done. I absolutely need to see this when it's done. That sounds sick. Cracking work. The nice cool colour for the sort of hair, the ruff down his back, completely just tempers the Mini. It's the shadows as well in that. You got those really dark shadows in there. Gives it that illusion of unbelievable depth. Great stuff. That's ace. That's just ace. I've never seen anything like this. That's epic, bro. Absolutely epic. Right, Carousel Bob says he's finished for tonight. I see some heresy. I see some definite heresy. Right, Gamma. Stuck my changeling together, but not sure if I like the pink swirly fire he is floating on. With 20 baked bearers and 2 characters flesh painted. Right, let's have a good look. I don't like the pink thing you stood on either, mate. No, I really don't. Everything else you've got, this is basically the theme of tonight's whip at the moment, is you've got one thing that looks one way, and this other thing that looks another way, and this is not right. Everything else, super smooth. The bits that you finished, obviously, you've got the blue to red to red to purple to blue over there on the staff. Obviously, that's going to get blended all together. Everything else is super smooth. This, obviously, still work to do. But, yeah. I don't think bright pink is the way to go on this either. If we go back to the smaller pick here, everything's already kind of pastel. And I'd want the fire to have maybe a bit more like volume to it. Yeah, I'm not sold. All skin needs more work, as does the staff. All of the skin, you reckon? Oh, yeah, sorry. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, every part of the mini is very cold. So either the pink needs to match that, or it needs to go the other way and get hot. This is cracking though, mate. We've seen it a few times. I never get tired of it. Your NMM, spot on. Your blends are brilliant. Epic work, dude. Let me see what you do with the pink after you've given it a go. You can still do it pink. It doesn't need to be fire as in like reds, yellows, black and all that. It can still be alien or magical fire. But I'd probably just like push it hard. I'm glad you went with pink and purples though, because it does contrast from everything else. That's another reason why it needs to just be that extra bit. Epic Ant says, any tips on how to transition / smooth out paints or colours? Glazes, my friend. Take some paint, thin it to the point where you've got essentially just dirty water. Take a very small amount of that on a clean brush and then paint it on the mini. And you'll know you're doing it right when you can't see the colour you're putting down, but you just see the models getting a bit wet. When you just see like a glisten of the paint, you'll see it. Now, because that paint is unbelievably thin, you'll need to do a lot of glazes. A lot of glazes to really smooth the transition out. It takes time, but I find it kind of relaxing. So, I think looking at it, I need to go from a light pink to a red to purple on the tips. No reds in the fire, so it just looks off. You could go straight pink to purple, because purple is basically pink with a little bit less blue and a little bit more white. Magenta, yeah, magenta's super powered pink. You could go the other way. You could have the darker bits at the bottom, the lighter bits at the top as well. It doesn't have to obey the rules of real fire. So there's lots of things that you could do there, but I love the colours that you've chosen. It just needs to be pushed a little bit further, I think, mate. The amount of work you've done on that mini, he deserves every effort on this. Loving this though. Get those plague bearers on. I have 90 of those painted behind me. I can't wait to finally fucking use them. Kingfish Games, Emperor Spirits is an Ultra successor. They are in the Ultramar sector and so on. Glass Joe, trying to get the base colours on the... Wait, trying to get base colours on the do washes and other detail. Then do washes and... Right. Sorry. Dyslexia. Loving that green, dude. Loving that green. Keep it up, man. Orcs are an army that is definitely a process. It takes time. But they are cool. They are cool. Keep it up. Danny, magnetized weapons on the croissants. Kit Bash Spider. Did you follow the Hellstone Wargaming How to Make Spencer video? And the croissants, super easy to magnetize. It's just a death ray, really, isn't it? Nice, dude. Nice. If you aren't tired of putting together Necrons, I've got a load you can put together. Rose might change things in about 3 hours worth of glazing to get it right. Use the method Jay said about in your previous there. Yeah. Yeah, 3 hours is quick, mate. Takes me about an hour, maybe an hour and a half, depending on how many like high points and low points we're doing on a sword to do a power sword effect by hand rather than the airbrush. Whereas the airbrush, I can get a solid power sword out in 4 minutes. You know, there's a big dichotomy of time and effort there. Ceragon, crap ton of stuff primed and base coated. This is your synthwave Marines you said the other day. That's a hell of a pink. Beach Angels, brilliant, brilliant. You should not bleach because I could do with some right now. You know, that's vibrant, bro. Love those crisis. How fucked up are you with all of those magnetized bits for the tab? Are you at the point where you've nearly had enough? So many. However, I've never seen anyone use corrugated card as their drying rack. Yeah, spurted. Absolutely. That's only 2 of 5. Oh, no, mate. No. No, I'd be phoning that in right now. Looking good, though, dude. I love that corrugated card. That's genius. Utter genius. Everyone got stuff in boxes for Christmas, you know. About 10 of those in the shed from Gunpla Days, really useful. I'll bet. I'll bet. Liking it, bro. Got my tiny frogs finally painted from a Riptide base. Epic. They're quality. Absolute quality. Have you, I can't see it in the picture, have you highlighted the black at all? So, use catnip things and just empty the catnip pack. Or, just take any cardboard box that's thick cardboard and put some together. You haven't. Might be worth it. Some of the larger patches just glaze in a little bit of grey to just give it a bit of a volume. Help the shape out. But I love that base. It needs a black base rim. I'm slightly triggered by that right now. But basing is one of the things that lets you down. Demon Badger, basing is a rabbit hole you can go down. It really is. We've done a couple of videos on basing recently. There's one on Patreon, how to boost your bases. And there's one we did on YouTube where we based the Invicta Warsuit as well. Sorry, that's on the Twitch VOD, which might be on YouTube. Too lazy? Mate, get some pumice, get some particulate, smashy, and paint it. Then put some powders on. Done. Give it a shot. Plan on hitting the frogs with gloss varnish after it's all done. Of course, mate. Makes perfect sense. Can't wait to see that whole guy together. It's gonna look brilliant, dude. Gonna look brilliant. Miss half damage. Struggling to push my aero skills. Need to smooth out the skin. Now it's all one colour. It is a bit. You're right. Did you thin your airbrush paint much? Do you have a trick for base rims? I feel like it always ends up peeling off like some sort of rubber or latex. I did thin but clean off. I use 1-to-1 with flow improver for everything. I notice how you've got a little froggy in there as well. Super cute. just essentially go back and push it through again. You said you were using it to smooth out your skin tones. Were you doing brushwork to get like base values down, and then coming in with it to help blend it all together? Because Sergio does his that way. Miniac did a video on it recently. Yeah, okay, cool. It's a really, really cool technique. It works super, super well. I do it in a slightly different fashion. Been doing it for a little while to get my base coats down flat. So on some speed painting stuff I did about 1.5 years ago, I basically took the brush out. I slapped purple over my Blood Bowl armor panels. I came with the airbrush and just smoothed out all the brush strokes before I then did a highlight with it. I've never done it for stuff like this where you've added in your values and then you're bringing the airbrush to tone it through. For me, I find that it's just easier to take all of that through the airbrush, but that's just my way. Maybe you can go back and just introduce the shadows a little bit more rather than starting the whole thing again. Give it a shot. What's the worst, right? If nothing else, you said you're doing this to practice your airbrush skills. It gives you that extra bit of practice with the airbrush. Sergeant Rolf, yes and no. Airbrush Flow Improver actually was never developed for an airbrush. It was already marketed as Flow Improver from Vallejo and is a drying retarder, so it stops your paint from drying as fast. It's always done to help paint come off your brush and stop getting any like dry tip on your brush where paint dries to those top parts of the bristles. So if I'm using something like white acrylic paint or very, very light greys, and I do a lot of work on that, I will add a little of that in. With lighter colors, they tend to dry a little bit faster, mostly because the grain that makes up the paint is much larger than something that's a darker color. Like for instance, white, that the grains of paint are very large in comparison to bone, where they're very small, which is why Citadel's Rathbone paint is bone for their contrast paints. Yeah, Miss Half Damage, I'd love to see this once you've done a bit more on it. I'm sure I'll catch it on your Instagram. That frog is super, super cute. Gitface, talking no-go bases. These are some I made, then cast a bunch more for my army. Basically put PVA glue on the base, drip super glue on it, it goes all bubbly. Yes, it does. It's a great way of doing like creep. If anyone plays StarCraft 2, the Zerg creep. I'm surprised the bot allowed that word to go through. Retardeur, as in it slows it down. Yes, you can, but for brush blending, you need to probably add water as well, because the Flow Improver will thin the paint a little bit, but it will keep about the same consistency because it's a medium. Whereas if you add water, you'll change the consistency as well as take some of the paint away. But yes, we are doing the whip section. Welcome. I saw your message earlier about a Mohawk stream. I think if we did like this cam, it would be a bit weird. We do enough of like this cam where the Mohawk gets in the way there, though, to hopefully help you out. StarCraft 2 is the best game. I love StarCraft 2. I used to do commentary for StarCraft 2 for Major League Gaming. And the Siege StarCraft username, probably more than 10 years ago now. I fucking loved it. It was great. Liking what you're doing here though, mate. Looks like some... Is it contrast over the top? Because of the way they're done, and because of the greens and the yellows that you've got there, they look a little bit like cabbage leaves. And I imagine that's not the actual effect you're going for, but very nurgly by the time you've got some demons or plague marines or whatever on there. They're going to look the shit. They already look like something I wouldn't want to touch. Niveus. What have we here? Ah, right. Yes. Good moves. I was under the impression that this miniature had full armor and not here's my goods. So, braised collards. Could be. It's the Garden Nurgle, you know, Brussels sprout bases. So, yeah, the parts of me I can see, it look great. The white is... I think the panel line you've got on the white is a little thick. But the red is brilliant. That's a very, very nice red. I do appreciate you've covered up the correct areas, though. Thank you very much, dude. Nice go on that sword. That sword blade's great. The purple down at the bottom, where it meets the handle, that needs a little bit of blending out, but the rest of that is pretty spot on. You need to go ever so slightly thinner with that white line down the middle as well, bro. It's pretty damn close. But just next time, just thin your paint ever so slightly more, and then go in there. On some blades like this, they've got a slight bevel, and you can use the brush and just run the side of it along the top. But quite frequently, these are a little bit too flat, and so this is a really, really hard line to hit. Great work there, mate. Great work. Also, I like the fact the base is alien colours as well. Bit of purple on there. Digging it. Blasphemer, what is this? What is this? Blaspheming indeed. Right, hang on. Is this scratch-built Leviathan made out of foam? It is, right? Fito, !point Discord. This has got to be scratch built. 2 Demon Prince knees and a head and milliput. Yeah. This is fucking impressive. What the shit? I'm guessing World Eaters. We've got like the 8-point world symbol. I mean, it needs a bit of smoothing out here and there, but I'm impressed. That's like actual cardboard, right? I'm sure once this has been painted, this will look pretty damn spot on. Is that freehand? Yeah, I know, right? That grinder thing. that's some dedication right there. How much like snip, 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 snip. Wow. Absolute wow. I love it. That's the first time I've ever seen anyone scratch build a Leviathan. I've seen some people try and convert one out of fucking Redemptor Dreadnoughts. It looks shit. But yeah. Can we see it when it's got paint on it, please? Dear God. Strata! I didn't know you were here. Let's get a shout out for him. This guy, epic 3D printing legend, frankly. Death Dread, Gazgol, Squig Herd, Grots. That's a lovely skin tone on the boys. Jenny Joyo, how you doing? Sorry. Love the hazards. I like the blue, actually. The blue that you put on the weapons. It makes them look like something out of maybe Fortnite or something along those sorts of lines. But I don't think that's a bad thing at all. And the skin tone's epic. Good work, sir. Yeah, I love it. Orange, blue, green. It's all good. It's all good. Top notch. SOS Point Strata. Go check them out. Niveus again. What is it? No, don't answer that question. At all. Love that purple. Purple wings. They're looking great. That sword, that's a much crisper edge on that. Really, really cool. Looking nice, dude. Looking real nice. Danny, it's the Giant's Causeway kind of thing for the basing scheme I'm going for. Yes, check out on Instagram a guy called Rumpelmaster. Rumpelmaster is my very, very good friend Stuart. I've known him for a couple of years. I got to play him at No Retreat. His Necrons were originally based on something exactly like this. He had a set of green colours. He changed the base sand to desert and kept these sort of hexagonal pillars coming out. Give him a look up. Look at all of Rumpelmaster, exactly like that. Yeah, he's even got a couple of YouTube videos out there as well, so go give him a sub on there. Tell him that I sent you if you get a chance to talk to him. Stu is a fucking great dude. His name's Stuart Headley. He's a definite future Golden Demon winner. Definite future Golden Demon winner. Full model. Oh, mate. That's badass. And that's totally Udyr from League of Legends. Just with a sword. That's awesome. Yeah, mate, he's good. All of his Necrons, non-metallic metal. Everything. We feature some of his work on stream. Based off a Persian folklore person called Rostam, who has to fight a dragon. Okay. Danny, did I start? Why? That's quality, dude. Can't wait to see what you deal with the painting on the bloke. The dragon looks ace. I'm sure that's going to look as good. Fito, beautiful pieces. I'm now with this Secretor with an older touch. Damn, that's a lot of cross hatching. Playing checkerboard. So a bit of a molten blade going on. Not bad. Not bad. I like the freehand on the chest. That's a nice touch. but we'll say skirt, I guess. That's fucking quality. That's really, really nice. Yeah, good job, bro. Some of the blends are a little choppy, but considering the amount of extra work that you've done on that, you can definitely let that go. That's really, really solid. You manage to get everything that flows correctly with the creases. Very nice work, dude. We've got quite a lot in here. We normally say just 3 per person, but let's have a quick look at this shield. That's nice. That's based on some famous artwork, right? Nick, peace out, bro. See you soon. That's cool. That's really cool. Got your right scales in there. Yeah, nice work. Is this another one? Same one, just a further away shot. And you've done wood grain on the back. Go you. Go you. 10 out of 10, mate. Glacio said, made this custom death dread. I'm trying to work out what exactly it is I'm looking at. Right, with it. Armiger, bits. There's a foot on the end of it. With a Castellan robot hand. Some tubes on a Admech Walker thingy. That's cute. That's cute. Can't work out where the guns are from, but I think I've got everything else. It's nice, man. Onager? Onager. No. Could be Onager. That's awesome. Oh, of course, still, that's a bloody big spear. That is a very, very big spear. Onager, that's it. The Gully, the Tau suit. If that's the Ghost Keel, still on the Ultramarine Down Flyer, he and I spent about an hour talking about his uses of colour. Everything he did was very cold. He's colour. Yeah. Here's the kicker. All right. He's completely colorblind. He literally sees shades of grey. That's it. And we had a conversation about using more vibrant colours to increase the separation between elements of his work. And that Ghost Kill with the Ultramarine Flower is what he did straight afterwards. I still think that's one of the best looking Tau things I've ever seen. Unfortunately, we both think that because that was one of his 2 entries for Golden Demon. It was that and I think it was a Marine. Were placed on the bottom shelf of the Golden Demon cabinets, and we both think they got completely missed. He didn't even get a finalist pin that year. He got no feedback at all either, so we think they just got, unfortunately, glossed over. Yeah, Banana, he sees literally no colour. Everything he sees is just grey. Dark grey, light grey, and white. That's kind of it. Last one, Blasphemer. Crap photos, he says. Okay, I mean, yes, the photos are having a bit of an issue with the amount of light coming off of that thing. But, Oh, the crisis suit holding a rifle. That's based on a conversion from a mate of mine, Oz. So he got asked to build those. Oz, who is on Instagram as 40k mech builds, is a friend of mine that lives about 20 minutes drive away. And he does a load of stuff where he just kit bashes and converts. And he had these crisis suits holding up basically like double barrel shotguns. And Stu saw the picture that was in a Warhammer chat. I said, oh, that's my mate Oz. He's like, mate, these are great. He converted them, put a photo on Instagram, and Warhammer Community showed Stu's photo. It was a copy of Oz's work. Like, fuck my life. How do I know both these people? Why didn't the original stuff, get recognised? Right, let's get in detail a bit on this. This is madness. So we've got Cerberus the Hound, which is both an old Juggernaut and a new Juggernaut. Is part of this the old metal one? His name's Oz. It's 40k mech, MECH builds. He's great. Yeah, I think I recognise the square legs. Weren't they the old metal one? Or are they the new plastic ones? All old. Okay. Was it 4 legs and hind legs then? Because I had an old metal Juggernaut that I converted up the really old Khan model to go on top as my Khorne Lord on Juggernaut in my 40k Chaos Marine army in 3.5. What kind of metal the metal mini is made of? Usually pewter, which is a slightly soft white metal. Really old 40k minis were made of lead, and obviously that's not ideal. Christ, mate, the amount of work you put in on building this is something else. I really like it. The green isn't out of place. The green is what's giving your phone the heebie-jeebies, but it's not out of place. That's good. Difficult to see, like you said. Photos not the best, but it's cool. It's very cool. The paint sticks to primer. So you put a primer on, which is designed to stick to something else, like metal, plastic, and is designed to allow paint to stick to it. And then, boom, paint on top. Done. Right, great job. Everyone in the whip. We've had some crazy shit in the whip tonight. That's been quality. That's been a really, really good whip session. And that lasted well over half an hour as well. We really went through that. It is late. We have finished off, with the exception of adding a decal to this and doing a little bit of work on the base, which I will do off stream. We finished main units. Chapter Master, perhaps, his Indomitus Shield Captain guy. The Darren Latham style power sword effect. Then our usual blends of one colour into another, purple into the bright blues. We did the freehand on the manticore holding a spear. Did some OSL tonight. It's been a lot of fun. It's been a lot of fun. So thank you very much for everyone that joined in to stream. Let's go find somebody though to pass on the hobby love to. Got to get that raid going over. That's the law. Let's see who is on. Reiner is on. We raid Reiner a lot. Tank is on. Do some Space Wolves. Keyline Prime. He's doing Chaos Knights. Keyline Prime. That's a possibility. Or Nalindi. Throw it open to the chat. We've got a channel points thing you can use to guide the raid. You choose. You choose. Banana, that sounds like too much work. People can just shout it out if they want. Bricky is cool. Oh, Bricky. Wait, is he actually on? Is it just Bricky? Yes, it is. I watched his Sisters of Battle versus Orc game. I watched part of that, and it looked a bit rough. Not gonna lie. Right, we're gonna go raid Bricky. So thank you to everyone who joined in. We'll see you folks soon. Tomorrow night at 6, be me and Mikey streaming. Otherwise, it'll be Tuesday at 9 o'clock right here. Peace out, everyone.